Shout out to TLA. Honestly, how bad do you want a wife? Man, listen. If a 17-year-old comes up to you and says, oh, I'm in love, what do? You kind of pat them on the head. Oh, that's cute. But if you've been like in real love as an adult, that's a whole nother thing. And it does exist. It's rare. I believe that some of y'all are going to die never experiencing real love.
This is a divorce attorney, and he is talking about the Kevin Hart saga. Well, do you know what's been happening with Kevin Hart?
No.
You don't follow Kevin Hart?
I mean, no.
No, we just finished watching Soul Plane. But anyway, so Kevin Hart evidently has allegations that he has been cheating with his now wife, with people coming to his office, and his, I guess, secretary at the time called his wife and told on him.
Wait a second, I'm sorry. Cheating on his wife now.
Uh-huh.
He's with, okay.
So on his current wife, I guess he was cheating on his...
Oh, is that how he met his current wife?
I think she was the side chick.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, the stream is about that. But then the divorce attorney got into talking about true love and how, a lot of people don't believe in true love nowadays, and how even as a divorce attorney is that he misses actually being in love and the feeling of being in love.
I experienced real love later on in my life, and I can just close my eyes and feel it. I can close my eyes and feel it. It's so good.
And so I guess the question is that how many people do you think as an adult have really been in true love? Because like he was saying, when you're, you're teenagers and stuff like that, that's a different type of love.
Yeah,
but when you're
puppy love.
Well, they call it puppy love, but I mean, it's still the same. But then
you have people that you love. But loving somebody and being in love, in love, I think, is two different things.
So there's a difference between loving somebody and being in love with someone?
I believe so, yeah.
So, I mean, what is really the difference in that? Because I think a lot of people are together and love each other, but they may not be in love with each other. And so, can you be in love with someone and fall out of in love with someone, but still love someone and then possibly fall back in love? I don't know. I guess this is a complicated thing. In today's time, with being on the internet, I don't know about, real life. I don't see it out in real life. But on the internet, a lot of people are downing being together, downing getting married and things like that. They're saying that this type of, atmosphere with the modern woman, I guess what you want to call the modern man too, it ain't worth getting married anymore. And I don't know. Do you believe it's not worth getting married anymore?
I'm on the fence, to be honest.
Okay. I mean, it's cool.
I don't know. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think it depends on everybody's situation.
All right. So you got a piece of paper and you got the marriage certificate, but you also have just the feeling and that's just paper side, just to being in love and wanting to be with someone. Is it worth it nowadays?
I think so.
But with that being said, is like with all the internet access, with all the dating apps, the Tinders, the Match and all of those stuff. I mean, it's so easy access for people just to reach out and find other people, or even with Facebook, people can go back and just see people that they had in their past. Like, is it worth trying to be in love? Because I think the risk of, having your heart broken is possibly greater now than it was back, in the day, because there's so many avenues to possibly, meet up with other people. And so is it worth putting yourself out there to try to be vulnerable, but in being vulnerable, you open yourself up to being, really hurt?
Yeah, but I mean, if you do find love, then it's almost like you're getting the highest of highs, but yeah, you're risking feeling the lowest of lows. Yeah. So, I mean, in my opinion, it's worth it. Or you can just kind of live life, it's with anything in life. Sometimes you have to take risks to get rewards. Mm-hmm. Or you can just live your life not taking any risks, but you never really feel those rewards either. You just kind of just coast through life. And for some people, that's okay. I don't feel like people should go out and try to fall in love. I think that people should live their best life. Get up every day and do what makes them happy. And I think that if it's meant to be, you're going to, just keep your eyes open and your ears open and be aware of your surroundings. And I think that if it's meant to be, that it's going to be put in front of you. You just have to recognize it.
Okay. All right.
I would love to feel that again. Now, a lot of y'all are like, Lee, this 2024, pimp, you got to let that go. You see Inoku, you see Kevin, everybody's cheating on everybody, everybody's exposed. You see Maisha, I'm going to tell the world. I'm not saying that you're wrong. But it's hard for me to put that feeling away. And so, I try to date and I try to start something new with this person, start something new with that person, but it's never like, perfect. And there's always but this, there's always but that. And
so that is a good actual statement and honestly a question. So is anybody perfect? And what I mean by that is, so if you're looking for perfection in someone, are you ever going to find true love? Because I think there's a fairy tale of true love, and then I think there's the actuality of actual love.
See, but I think true love is where you love somebody so much that you accept them for who they are, and you love the good things about them, but you find ways to maybe not love, but accept the things that you don't really you don't love about them.
So I understand what you're saying, but I think I'll push back a little bit on that, because the thing is that I understand what you're saying is that you love the things about them, and what you say you also, but if somebody,
the things that you don't love about them, you accept because of the things that you love about them.
But I would say there were some things that are deal breakers. So
for some people, yeah,
like maybe. I would say, even though you love somebody, you love them if they're a constant cheater, or if they're a gambler, or to the point
but that
where
wouldn't be somebody who. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, but I wouldn't think that would be somebody, that wouldn't be your true love, somebody who you fall in love with.
Some people do. Some people fall in love with people that
But is that real true love?
But I'm just saying, it's like, and so like our version of true love may be different for somebody else's version of true love. And maybe. The thing is that if they truly love this person, but that person doesn't truly, can you truly love someone and they truly not love you back?
Oh yeah, for sure.
And so true love can go, love, I would say, could go one way. It can be a one-way street. Right. And so you have to be actually in a relationship where you have a two-way street where two people are in love with each other. And honestly, I think that's hard to find. I think people are looking for a lot of things, a lot of perfection, because in the beginning you'll see things about somebody and you'll be in love with them, and then things will start cropping up. And sometimes valid things start cropping up. Sometimes you are so in love with someone that you don't see the red flags.
Yeah, or you ignore them. And that's almost, in hindsight, you remember that you did see them.
But I feel like that's almost infatuation, though. I think you can be infatuated by somebody and then just be blinded by a lot of things that outside looking in. If you were looking at somebody else in their relationship, it's like, why are you doing that? But because somebody's in that situation and they're in love with the person and the idea of the person, they're not looking at the actuality of the real person.
Yes, I think that's true. And okay. I think that some people also will accept things that they're not okay with because they feel like they've invested so much time.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
I just think that people maybe just think, that they're not going to find anything better than maybe what they have.
So it's the fear of losing because you may not have anything else to go to, being by yourself.
For some people, I think maybe.
Yeah, there's look, this whole subject is actually very complicated. And the thing is that I think a lot of people are in relationships, they're not in love in a relationship. They may love the person, or they might just be with the person just because they are afraid to leave because they're afraid to be by themselves. Mm-hmm. And so how many people, what percentage of people do you think are truly in love that are in relationships?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I also don't know the people that are in love. I don't know that you stay in love like all the time.
Oh no, of course you don't.
But I think that it takes the two people to constantly want to be back at that level and work towards it.
Now look, I'll be open. Probably 2 days ago we weren't in love.
And that's that's what I'm saying. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying.
We had
but,
life going on, and we were just distracted with other stuff, and it's just we were disconnected.
Right.
Yeah, and so yeah, we had a conversation that and I think when couples do have to reconnect sometimes, you know what I'm saying, and sometimes the reconnection has to be weekly, because if you got a lot of stuff going on in your life, you get busy and you just don't think about your other partner as much as you do when you don't have as much going on because life happens. And so yeah, I mean, I would say people go in love and out of love sometimes multiple times within a week, and it's one of those things, like it's work. To stay in love is work. It is true work, and some people don't want to put in the work. Some people think some people think that if you're in love with somebody, that you should always feel and be in love with that person, and that you don't have to work at it.
The other thing too, though, is the attorney sounds like he might be, when he's dating now, he might be trying to compare what he has to what he had. And I don't think that that's really healthy either, because I don't know what happened in his last relationship, but that's like, that's like losing a dog and then going out and buying another dog and expecting to feel the same way about the dog that you had.
Or some people, when they are by themselves, like the idea of being in love. Because the idea of being in love is always sweet. It's kind of like, because you only think of the high points. You don't think about the bad points of being in love, because there are some bad points of being in love, because there are expectations. Somebody might not cheat on you, but you might have an expectation of somebody to have dinner ready when you come home, or to be asking you about your day when you come, and they don't, and they let you down. There's little things about being in love.
There's big things too, because when you're in love with somebody, you love them that much, there's that fear of something happening to them and them being gone.
There's a lot of pitfalls of being in love.
We live in a day and age where you can't do none of that stuff anymore. You can't be in a relationship. You can't marry. Someone once said it costs too much to even be in a relationship. It costs too much to get cat for free instead of just paying a little bit of money to get it, And it's like, we can't do anything in Western society. So to your point, people are going to Thailand and to Vietnam and all of these places. So you can't really, and they're following us out there. And it's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, and I get it. Shout out to AV. AV's like, oh, that Thailand shit, that's gross as hell. And go ahead.
Oh no, but it's different just culturally. These women were raised to be wives. Out here in Western culture, they're raised to be independent. You can't tell them anything. For a lot of the women out here, their opinion means more than keeping a man. You can't tell them anything.
We didn't get a chance to see all his conversation, but one of the things I wanted to say with that conversation is that with the whole passport bros and things like that, I've seemed to notice that, the passport bros, they talk about how women are more friendly in other countries and how they're more feminine and things like that. And sometimes it makes me wonder. It makes me wonder about this because, listen, anytime you go on vacation, you travel or go somewhere, of course, there's a different atmosphere and you act a little bit differently in a different place as a person. It seems to me with some of these, things that are going on with the passport bros or people going to other places to look for quote unquote love, is that are they really working on themselves to become a person that somebody would want to fall in love with? Because if you are presenting yourself in a certain way, depending on where you're at, here at home, you might be actually presenting a package that no one finds attractive to fall in love with. So which means that, hey, look, I'm constantly, listen, before I was, always like, it's other people's problem. And until I started working on myself and started, seeing that maybe some of these problems that were being caused were me, I didn't have, people that, wanted to stay around long, because it was always like, no, I'm not the problem. You're the problem. You need to fix. And I was finding the fault in everybody else. It's not that I'm finding the fault in myself now, but it's always, I'm looking internally trying to see if there's anything that I need to adjust, need to change myself. And I think that is a quality that, helps people to, look for the best in other people, but also accept some of the things in other people that are not perfection, but also be able to evaluate some of the things in other people that, hey, they might not be perfect, but they may be working towards being better, not perfection, but being better in themselves, and which helps you to actually, love someone for who they are and who they're trying to become. But I don't think that, with the Passport Bros and stuff like that, is that they're looking to work on themselves to the point where it is going to be conducive to a long-term relationship, no matter who they find. Like, even if they find somebody overseas, I don't think that's going to end up being a long-term relationship, because you're going to run into problems in your relationship, and how are you going to deal with those problems if you haven't dealt with trying to work on yourself? I said a lot. I
feel like those girls I feel like they're just waiting for these guys to come over there, knowing that they make it easy for these guys. And I think that's why the guys go over there, because it's easier for them. But I mean, if you're just going for, to feel good about yourself, for a good time, okay, that's fine. But I mean, if you're going to actually look for a wife, look for somebody who you can bring back here, I mean, that's what they want.
Yeah, but do you think that's true love? They're going
to get Americanized, and they're not going to want you.
Yeah, but do you think that's true love? Do you think that's in love? I
think it's possible, but I don't think that. No, I don't think that.
So when we look around us, well, I mean, look around us, just in going through life through the years and stuff like that. How many people around us? Because there's a lot of people that we've met and been through, or do you think are in love, or just love each other and are in a relationship? And some, like I said, just in a relationship, love is faded and it's just too tough to move on because you don't know what's out there.
Maybe one couple that I would look up to and say that to me is like perfection. Like, they got it down.
Yeah. And they probably don't have it down. You probably just see the outside, you don't see the ups and downs and the day-to-day things that, and that is the thing about relationship. There are behind the scene things that go on in relationships, even in love relationships, that people don't see. And the thing is that when people see people that are truly in love, or they think is truly in love, they think their relationship is perfect. And in reality, their relationship is far, far from perfect. The relationship is constantly being worked on by both sides, not just by one, by both sides. And so, it's one thing, just to wrap this up, it's one thing, to hear, other people talk about, wanting to be in love, but it's another thing to hear a divorce attorney talk about, wishing to have the feeling of being in love again, even though they are a divorce attorney and they have seen the worst of people. Mm-hmm. If you've seen the worst of something and you still feel like that you want to get into it, that's, to me, has got to say something. That you're willing to still sacrifice trying to find that, which means that, to truly be in love is something that is probably one of the greatest feelings that you can probably have, here on earth. There's only so many things that are going to give you, the ultimate high being here on this earth. And I think being in love and true love is one of those things. And it's one of those things that you got to sometimes step out and take the risk. It's like, what was that movie? It wasn't Indiana Jones. What was it where you had to walk on the invisible bridge? What was that?
I don't watch those kind of movies.
Yeah, but anyway, you had to take the faith and you had to step out, but the bridge was invisible. But when you stepped out, it's like the bridge was there. And so I think love sometimes is like that. Like, you have to give and be vulnerable to fall in love. But you also have to be cautious in the beginning, because you got to also make sure that the person that you're being vulnerable to is also in the same boat of being vulnerable to you. And there's going to be some ups and downs and you're going to get hurt. Listen, we've hurt each other and we've had some really big ups and downs. But as long as you're constantly looking and trying to work towards making one another happy and making one another a better person, I think that's one of the best feelings that you can have in the world.